What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product? We learned that using a DSLR camera, which is a digital single lens reflex camera, made our filming process much easier because we had a lot more functions we could use. It was more clear in an image instead of just, I think it's just a little digital camera, like a camcorder. I mean, obviously they're good, but we found that a DSLR camera worked better for us because we wanted to do some more interesting shots. For instance, like on our lapse production thing where we zoomed in and blurred out the eye, we wouldn't have been able to do that on a little digital camera. So we found that was a benefit of having a DSLR. Obviously, the zooming in and out was smoother, and we had more control of the camera and then what was actually happening. So we found that was why the DSLR camera was better. Obviously, when we used the digital recording camera, the scenes were jolted, whereas with the DSLR they flowed more nicely. Another option that we used within the camera settings itself, which, as I said before, was about the blurring out of our scene, well, the lapse production scene anyway, and that blurred out the scene straight away, so we didn't have to do it on iMovie or any other way. So it was like literally just how we filmed it. We filmed it blurred, whereas we couldn't do that with a digital camera. This helped create the fact of what was happening isn't real and the shot is unfocused because everything that's going on through the extract is unclear as well. The biggest piece of technology that we used to make our product was iMovie, which is located on the docking station of Apple iMac. This helped us put together all our shots, and it helped us create the whole of our extract. I mean, I don't know any other way that I can make the product, but obviously if we had more background into it then we probably would know how to. But one, because we had the equipment to use iMovie, so we just used it. We found it was best. We learned so many different things just on iMovie that we were able to use. We obviously all the tools that we use were located in the app itself. We learned how to do titling and where to find them. Obviously, we could then also download fonts from the internet, obviously uncopyrighted. So we then we did that, and obviously that's kind of like a tool in itself, because obviously then you've got to work out how to take it from whatever file you have onto iMovie and then use it from there. We learned how to put in transitions, and then with transitions you could change the length of them, fade them in or out, give them a little sound effect, or just, I don't know, there was like quite a lot of different things you could do with that one thing. You could like slow them down, you can make them faster. There was a lot that we could have done, but we obviously only stick with like the main ones, like fading in, fading out, and slowing it down really. The transitions, we used the best ones that we thought were more suitable for our shots, and these included cross blur, which we used quite often because like fading into like a bit of a blur for our product seemed relevant because obviously of the scene, of what was happening, so we just saw cross blur was like the best to show everything. We then also used fade to black. The reason why we used fade to black was because the majority of ours is set in a really dark setting, so we thought if it faded out to white it would kind of mess it up a little bit, so we just stuck to black because all the scenes were black, so it just kind of flowed more nicely. These were the only transitions that we thought were best suited to our product and how everything was to be put together. We also then used the tools like split cut, so that cut a clip, so we only had like the most important bits in it, so we could crop it in half and then it would almost take out a little bit of a chunk that we didn't need, because obviously when you're doing a clip trimmer, if you right click on the little setting on each little frame that you've got, it will then come up with clip trimmer, and a clip trimmer will only clip what's on the outside, so you can only take it in, whereas the split clip, it lets you split it wherever you want it. If you click it and then press split clip, it will split it however you want it, and then you can get rid of bits from either side. We thought that was quite good for us, because there were some bits in the middle of some scenes that we just didn't like. It technically getting rid of useless footage, and then to possibly add in an effect or transition. So if we wanted that one scene to have something going on in the middle of it, then obviously we were able to put that in, or add a transition maybe, but that was obviously a bit pointless if the scene was technically the same. However, that was not what we mainly did anyway, though. We did like bits of it, but it wasn't like the biggest focus for our product. We then recorded sounds, were a small part of our production. The main sounds that we used were all uncopyrighted, so in other words, the background music and like the eerie sort of thing. They were all off the internet. However, we did record some sounds and then uploaded them on. And the main reason why we didn't use a lot of recorded sounds was because we planned to have no dialogue throughout, and were to only have music to help create the atmosphere. We want some sense of reality, and doing this would be to add in another 1 or 2 recorded sounds. And the best example of one of our recorded sounds was when a chair got thrown, and it got the main character worried and looking behind her, like scared because something just completely happened, and she's like, oh my god, what just happened? We then also edited the sound of the recording chair to make it seem more louder and more prominent in the scene, and really get the audience to jump out of their seats. So we only did that because obviously we couldn't really think about like what other sound could really scare the audience. So we used our location, and in our location there were abandoned chairs and things like that. So we were just like, well, if we throw a bit of a chair, that's gonna be quite good because no one's gonna know what the sound is. So we used that, and then what other effects did we use? We used a certain effect that was in one scene where the actual filming was too dark, so we needed to change the effect of the shot itself. So we changed the contrast and changed the saturation, which was all in the editing process of the clip. So if you right click on the little setting thing on the frame, it then has, I think it's clip or video adjustment or editor or something like that. And then that's how you can change the effect of obviously either the audio, the clip, the video, anything. And like we were only merely trying to suggest that she can't see everything that's going on around her, so that's why she's freaking out so much. And obviously with all of the split clips, that was mainly so if we wanted to add something in, we could. Obviously suggesting that we just like wanted to add something in so that it seemed like there was more in the scene than there actually is. So yeah, like overall, like we learned a lot about technologies in the making of our product, and obviously constructing it. Because obviously, if we didn't have iMovie, like which is the biggest one, if we didn't have iMovie, we probably wouldn't have made our product, because obviously everything we used was on there, or either downloaded from the internet onto iMovie. So everything was on iMovie. So that was what we learned when constructing our product.